Hey, it's Dan. Welcome back. Get a bonus video today. This is iAllegedly. Got a good one for you today because we're going to talk about unbanking and what happens when you get unbanked. So please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to join our email list because we got one coming out this week. So link is below. Now, so many people have asked me, what happens if the bank goes down or if I lose my account? So we're going to cover all that real quickly today. And I'm going to give you a crazy example of what happened to one of our listeners and show you exactly what to do. Now, first things first, guys, you have to have a bank. We know this. My recommendation is keep as much money in the bank just to pay your bills. Think about this. Keep the rest of it out. I'm a huge fan of gold. I'm a huge fan of silver. And I believe that you should have cash on hand in case there's an emergency. But you and your significant other, or if it's just you, you need to be on board with having multiple bank accounts right now. You need to have at least 2 places with money, preferably 4 or 5, but 2 would be ideal. Now, the idea with this is, think about this. Let's say Bank A, we'll just call them Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo closes your account and they don't give you any notice. Then you've got Bank B, preferably not one of the big banks, preferably a credit union or something else, one of the other institutions that you can go to that you can pay bills while you sort out the existing bank mess. Now, here's what I want you to understand. Banks don't have to give you a real reason for this. And lately, when you hear the stories from the subscribers that I get, they're not getting, people have not done nefarious things. Back in the day, during the COVID stuff, you would hear about, hey, listen, yeah, we were overdrawn a lot and the bank shut us down. Well, yeah, they're getting sick of that. They're getting sick of the overdraft fees. They're getting sick of you being overdrawn and then you making it positive, overdrawn again, making it positive multiple times a day. I heard about some people. And the bank said enough is enough. We don't want to be in your business. Now there's that. The other thing is, if you are doing anything against the banking regulations, now, I'm not talking about anything illegal, but if you have like an Ally account, which is an online bank, and you're doing business out of your personal account, they're going to close you for that. Ally knows, and Ally looks at where transactions are coming in and going out to. So if you're paying for things like inventory from your Ally account, the chance that you could have that account closed are very high because they don't want to tolerate that. Okay, I'm on the Newport Pier, by the way, this afternoon. So they don't want to tolerate that, guys. So follow the rules. Now, here's the thing. Some people are in business. They have crafts. They have small businesses. They sell things. They sell trinkets. They make jewelry, dresses, whatever, do hair, whatever. And they run it through their Chime account or through one of those online portals. That's fine, but understand this, that they could close the account if they think that you're doing business through those accounts because they weren't intended for this. This is what happened when people got COVID money. People went out when they changed the PPP loans to be individuals, like you could work for yourself and you could get a PPP loan. And I saw a lot of people do this and I helped a lot of people get it. But they had the wrong bank accounts because it wasn't a business bank account. So the money would be frozen. Okay? Now, go to your bank. I don't care how little or how much money you have, and let the bank know what you do for a living if you think you're going to be at jeopardy at all to have your bank closed. Now, introduce yourself to the manager. Hey, this is how I get paid. I'm a hairdresser, and I've got a Stripe account, and I get paid through PayPal, and I get checks, and I get cash. That's why you see all 3 go in there, so they understand what you do for a job. And that way, it's never questioned if you talk to these people up front, because they can do things like note your account, so it's not a problem. Now, recently, I had a PayPal account, and PayPal said, hey, you haven't used your PayPal account much lately, and you had a large deposit come through, and funds are on hold right now. And if you don't answer it within 45 days as to what this is, we're going to take further action. Well, the further action would have been them closing the account. Now, here's the thing. The money was seized at that point from me until I answered them. Well, first I got very angry, and I thought, oh, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to get the attorney, and have the attorney fire off a letter. And no, I thought, no, you know what? Take a deep breath. You fix this. So sent them everything. Sent them about 30 pages of everything, what this was all about. Oh, okay, thank you. Have a nice day. Not congratulations, nothing. Just boom. Okay, you're fine. Okay? They don't care about us. They don't care about you. You are insignificant to them. They want less accounts right now than ever before. But when a bank does this, they usually give you a period of time. Hey, we're going to close the account on this date. Usually it's 10, 14, or 30 days. Okay? 10, 14, 30 days. Sometimes it's 45. 10, 14, 30 days. You better get your money out of that account. My recommendation is to leave $100 in there when this happens to you, because what they're going to do is send you a cashier's check, and they're going to take their sweet times, which would be 10 to 14 business days. 14 business days, guys, is 3 weeks. Okay? 3 weeks. So they're not going to rush out and do this for you. Okay? So Greg, who is a subscriber, sent me the most amazing story, which is the reason this video is being made right now. And that is that Greg is clearly a successful guy. Greg is the one that sent us the story from a couple days ago about the Ralph supermarket that had, the jail cell inside of it, basically, where, oh, you have shaving cream? Okay, well, listen, you talk to a store manager and see if you're authorized to get that. Do you know what I mean? It was insanity. Oh, you want lip balm? Hang on. Aisle 6. This guy, does he look okay to open the cage? I mean, think about that. Lunacy. Greg gets notification a couple months ago that they're going to close his account. And he's at Fargo. Now, Greg is clearly, I'm talking like, not like here. Greg's way up here, just because of the stuff he sent me, which when you guys send me stuff, the more proof, the better, because then I can justify it with everybody. But man, oh man, Greg couldn't figure out, and they wouldn't tell him, no, we just think that you've done, there's been questionable activity on your account. Okay, questionable activity? Wow. Okay, well, Greg sold a bunch of gold, okay, and had an online payment sent to his account to the tune of $526,500. Huh? 526 grand went into his account. Okay. Now, Greg is of Chinese descent. Greg is four ancestors ago came here for a better life, made a better life. All his relatives, a couple of good stories, all his relatives are pharmacists, doctors, lawyers. I mean, they're all people that really done well for themselves. But Greg clearly he's the dangerous one, because he bought some gold and wanted to buy a house, okay? So Greg went out and got $526,000 put in his account. They didn't like that. So what are you going to do, guys? Seriously, this is insane. So a lot of us will never have $526,000 at one time. Greg goes out, and Greg is trying to figure out, hey, what can I do to fix this? Nothing. We don't want to be in the Greg business right now. And the best thing that you can do is run when this happens. Now, what you have to do is if you have someone else in your life, if it's just you, don't kid yourself. Dan's an idiot. I'll do it after the holiday. I got better things to do. Do it now. Because I'm telling you, if you guys got all the emails that I get, and there are hundreds of them, where people tell me this magical date and that magical date, they're going to shut the banks down, and this is going to happen, and that's going to happen. You remember, when everybody finds out, okay, it's too late. Remember that. You want to be prepared for this, and you want to have your finances in order in case this goes south, okay? So, have a second bank account, a different type of establishment, like a credit union or different bank. My recommendation is you have enough money in the account so that if something happens, you have enough money to pay 1 month's set of bills. Now, you may not have that. You may not have the savings, but have an extra place to do this. Now, most banks are going to tell you that, hey, listen, for the first 30 and 60 days, we're going to limit the deposits and be leery of this and, watch the account basically, which is fine. It's what you got to do. But you have to get it set up and you've got to get it situated now before it's too late. Now, Greg sent me a bunch of detailed information, which was really good. One thing that was funny was his brother, this is kind of a side note, which I don't know why I laughed so hard about this one. His brother lived in Seattle during the health crisis, which we all know was hell, okay? And his brother and his wife decided, where should we move to? Let's go move someplace else. So they moved to South Korea, and they love it there, Dan. Oh my gosh, they love South Korea. And I don't know why I found that to be so funny. It's not like they moved to South Pasadena. You know what? We really like South Pasadena, so we're going to move there. They moved to South Korea. So anyways, the point is with these banks is get yourself in a situation that you have multiple banks. Credit unions don't generally have the risk that they have with the larger banks. The derivatives and all the investments that are funky and things like that, they don't have the risk generally. Plus, when you walk into a credit union, you can ask them for the financial statement and they will give it to you. But understand this, when they close an account, they will issue you a cashier's check for whatever's over. They will also, if you are upside down and you're negative, they're going to give you a set period of time to pay that off. If you don't pay off the negative balance on the account, let's say you're overdrawn, if you don't pay that off, they're going to report you to check systems. Then you will not get a checking account for 5 years, okay? And it's an absolute disaster when that happens because then you won't get anything out there. Now, you can look at different credit cards that have checking accounts like Capital One, Discover people have had success with, they've written me. Just make sure you've got another place. The cool thing about Capital One, they have those cafes around, the country, and you can go in there and make bank deposits there, and they will give you checks. They'll give you 50 free checks when you set up your account. So you have access to your money. They have ATMs, and you have free ATM networks that you can get to. So you have the ability to pay bills and do online banking and transfers and things like that with places like that. But you need to have something else. I'm not endorsing this. I'm not, there's not one that I like over another one. I'm just telling you that people sit there and if you're doing something illegal. If it's kind of questionable. But remember, Ally, they don't want you to do business out of your personal account. They don't want you buying inventory. They know what that is when they see those online payments. So if you're doing that, they're going to stop it with this. So protect yourself, protect your family, but get on board and have a separate bank account. Oh, my wife's got a separate checking account, Dan, and I trust her immensely. Okay, tell her to get ready. What happens if they close the business account down? What happens to you if you have a company and you've got payroll and you have a payroll account? What are you going to do? Okay, now, banks, sometimes people have separate payroll accounts. That's how I've always done it. When I have a business with employees, there's a separate payroll account that the money gets sucked out of, the money deposit gets put in there, and that's what people, that's where they get their paychecks from. So there's no problem with that. But if those accounts get closed, what are you going to do? Seriously. And if you're, here in California, you've got all these laws, the size of that fish, all these laws about paying people on time and things like that. You don't want to run into any of those shenanigans right now because that just adds to your problems with this. So communicate with the bank. If they do give you the warning or anything like that, hey, listen, we want to know what this is, go in there. Don't blow it off. Don't do it over the phone. Show up at the bank with the letter and explain to them what you do, because these people are stupid. These people have no idea what digital sales are. These people have no idea what consulting is. They have no idea what working is outside of getting an hourly paycheck. So have a relationship with them and go talk to them. But the ideal situation is a separate bank account that's got 1 month of your money set aside for this. I don't recommend keeping a lot of money in banks. We all have to have them. We all have to pay our bills. You got to pay the cable bill. You got to pay your rent. You got to pay things like that. And, you just got to protect yourself. But get ready for this to happen more and more often, because Greg Didn't expect this, okay? And Greg is uber successful, okay? So Greg is not the guy that's like, you know, hey, Greg's overdrawn a bunch, Dan. Greg was overdrawn $30,000, and then they said, no, we're not going to do that. No, Greg didn't like the online sales. Didn't like the transfer of $500,000 into his account, okay? So get ready for this, because this is going to happen and it's going to escalate, and then everybody's going to know about it. If you saw my email chains that I get, that my staff goes through and that we look at, it is crazy, guys, because there is so much email about banking problems, delays, Chase Bank, another, hey, Dan, you just mentioned Chase Bank, and now before I could go online, I had to agree to, you know, their terms. Pass, guys. Get ready. Get ready for this to happen, okay? Look at the FDIC rules. Let's hope to God there's money left over for all of us to pay us if these banks fail. But they don't have to cut you a check quickly. Everybody thinks, oh my God, my bank closed my account, I'm going to go in there and get the funds. I'm going to laugh at you now so you can feel bad, because when it happens, they're not cutting you a check in 15 minutes. They're going to wait to make sure that you haven't written any outstanding checks. They're going to wait to make sure that this is done. Now, again, when someone dies, they do the same thing. It's kind of awful because, you know, they do nefarious and horrible things with that too. I could talk to you for an hour about that. Get ready, because the unbanking is going to happen to all of us, and you have to protect yourself. Be ready, be leery, have multiple accounts, at least two. Now, if you're elderly, you have a pension, I don't care if you have a second account. I really don't, because you've got your pension, your Social Security coming in, but you need to have 1 month that money set aside. You need to have enough cash. Maybe it's not a full month, but it's enough to pay some bills right now if there's a problem. Don't tell anybody. Stack in private, and don't, hey, you know what? I keep $12,000 in the third drawer down. You know, be quiet about this, okay? You know if you're having a problem. You know if your business is a problem. You know. And if you're one of those people, and again, during COVID, when I helped people get PPP loans and EIDL loans and things like that, there were so many restaurants that were completely upside down during this time. And yeah, you know, we're overdrawn in the morning, and then we, you know, have the sales for the days, and by the end of the day, we're positive, and then we've written checks. So the next day, we just started all over again, Dan. Huh? Okay, guys. Well, they're going to close those accounts down. Mark my words, okay? So hello at iAllegedly is the email contact. Reach out if you have any questions. And onward and upward, guys. I will see you guys very soon. Don't forget to hit the like button. And thank you, Greg, for sending me this. And again, I hope you guys liked the bonus video. I just wanted to come out to the pier today and do this, because I just am floored, because so many people are like, what do we do? You know? So get multiple bank accounts. But again, your spouse, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, whoever you bank with, whoever you live with, whoever you're on board with. Now, you know, have a conversation, okay? Prepare, get ready. Do you believe anything they tell us? Seriously. Okay? Neither do I, okay? We're on the same team. I'll see you guys very soon.